Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Autastic, your comedian's guide to autism. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Kirk Smith, and my co-host and buddy,
Graham K. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Autastic Podcast, the comedian's guide to living with loved ones with autism. Kirk, you're on a ship, as always. I'm back in Brooklyn. Chilling.
No, I feel like we switched positions because last time we talked, I was on land in Brooklyn.
That's right.
Driving around the little green machine, playing basketball, driving it to league games, and then you were on the ships, and now I'm on the ships. You're driving the green machine.
Yeah, yep, that's what's happening. I drove it last night just to park it. It's very annoying, and shouldn't have bought a car. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Check engine light will not go off. Anyway, having a good time. Otherwise, you got to take risks out there. Kirk, how is JJ? How's your son doing?
JJ's doing great. We had a little quick call yesterday. It was a silent but deadly look he gives me. So every once in a while, there'll be completely silent. I will be talking to him, and he will be uninterested, just staring into the void that is the Facebook video call thing. He's just staring at me but doesn't say anything, and but I think he's doing good. It's summer in Sweden, so he's got one of his substitute caregivers, which is a little not his favorite change in routine, but I think he's doing good.
No.
I think he's doing good. I'm looking forward to, in 3 weeks I will be in beautiful Ottawa, and I assume that Peter Parker Spider-Man will be at my Tuesday or Wednesday show before he does his big trip to the Big Apple. How's Peter?
He's doing great. There no news. I'm not sure he fully understands that you're coming. I tried to explain to him, but I was like, Kirk's coming. He's gonna probably he's gonna take you out for lunch or something, and he was like, okay. Anyway. Well, look at my figurines. And he's moved around he turns around the camera on his phone and he shows me where his Star Wars figurines, how he's moved them. He's got he scotch taped Darth Vader's lightsaber to his side, just like it's in the movies. That's a new development.
Okay.
Like holstered it. He did, that's pretty fun. He's having fun
over
there, playing with the figurines. Yeah. I bought him a Ninja Turtles game for his Nintendo that I bought him over Christmas that he never uses. That was a lot of money. So he seemed excited about that. I honestly think that he was thinking of canceling his trip to New York because he's coming with my parents to New York. And
right.
I think he was going to cancel, like make some excuse. But I told him that I bought him that game, and I showed it to him. And now he is pumped to come to New York to pick up the game.
Wait a minute. I thought he doesn't like these games. He does like this specific one?
Well, I guess the ones I bought him, he's not super in love with.
Okay.
And I couldn't find a Star Wars game for Nintendo DS. So, but I finally found a Turtles game, like just in one of the genres he likes. No, I couldn't find a Spider-Man game. That was it. There was no Spider-Man game for Nintendo DS that I could find. But maybe there is one now. But anyway, I got it. He likes Star Wars, Spider-Man, and Ninja Turtles. Those are the three franchises that really gets the blood moving in old Pete. So
Besides, I found Canadian Cops and Big Boy or Big Boss.
That's Uncle Big Boss from the Canadian cartoon Cops. And also Biker Mice from Mars toys, which I did try.
Jeez Louise.
He did want those toys for a long time, but they obviously haven't made them in 30 years because they're bad. But he wanted me to buy them off eBay, and they were very expensive, very, very, very expensive because I guess they only existed for like a year or two, and so I convinced him not to like.
Some other fan did not want to part with them. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, exactly. I convinced him that they're not cool anymore and they're just for kids. Now he's off Biker Mice Mars. But But Spider-Man is very expensive. The figurines, they're more expensive than the Star Wars figurines. So that's a new problem because our friend Greg Stone, who gave him free Spider-Man figurines, um, and then he got him hooked on Spider-Man figurines. And I didn't realize that was going to happen. I thought they'd be cheaper because they're newer. They're like 20
Right.
years newer. These figurines.
Wasn't Greg
But
Stone the
I
one who
guess he's a
posted
hotter
these?
commodity.
like-
So
Yeah, these the Matrix figurines that he posted that cost less now than they cost when they were new. Wasn't that Greg? You just never know which of these figurines are going to
Yeah.
blow up and which ones are going to blow out. Yeah.
yeah, he's a figurine guy. Very funny stand-up comic, Greg Stone. But you know. Anyway, so that's that. Pete's doing pretty well. He's having a decent summer. He's having his party coming up every year. My my parents organize his group, his live work play group, to come up to the cottage and hang out. And usually about 5 or 6 of them come, and that's this Sunday. So Peter's a little pumped about that. Talked to him today, and he went to go see the the Ninja Turtles movie with his group last week. So I think that's why he really liked the Ninja Turtles game I got him. And he's pretty pumped about that.
Did he ever get into
It's
the?
exciting.
I know this is a female thing, but the Barbie did have Ken and stuff. Did he ever get into the Barbie thing or not really?
No. My
Okay.
my brother is sexist. It turns out he's like, that's just for girls. So
Well, they did
Whatever.
aim it at girls, but I thought, who knows? And I thought, another one that has figurines. Indiana Jones also has figurines. Yeah, I remember those.
yeah, I wonder if he would like Indiana Jones. Maybe that's a new IP that we could get him into. Switch it up.
It's very swashbuckly, very kind of adventure-y. I think I don't know. It's easy to follow.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
Exactly. It's easy to follow. And there's bad guys and good guys.
The bad guys look funny and
know?
make weird faces. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
you can
Yep.
tell that guy's bad. Look at that face he's making. yeah,
Yeah. He's a Nazi.
exactly.
So that's actually a good idea. Because we're always looking for new stuff. to get
Because I
little
wonder if
Pete
you could
into.
introduce it to him through the movie. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it's still playing in theaters. We could go see it when he's here. But probably not
it's
by
play-
then.
It's
Whatever.
playing out here. I'm on a ship that's got a theater, and so I'm thinking about sneaking into the old movie theater tomorrow. Yeah, watch it. 2
Oh
o'clock.
yeah, go see it. That'd
Yeah.
be fun.
It's great when it's free.
Oh yeah.
Nothing's sweeter than stolen
Folks,
fruit.
Kirk loves free stuff more than
Oh, that's funny.
anything. I think Kirk loves his son, his daughter, and then free stuff, and then his parents.
There's something about growing up really poor without that you have this poverty mentality that's not great. I wrote a new joke. I haven't tried it out, but the joke is when I was living in LA, very broke, newly single, and driving Uber, trying to date with no money. I told my buddies, he's like, where'd you take this girl? Like, out to coffee. Oh, somewhere nice? No, I took her to a Starbucks. But what I didn't tell him was a Starbucks inside a grocery store, and we split the coffee.
Did you really do that?
No, but Eddie Giuseppe used to make fun of me and say, "Look at this guy. He takes girls to Gilson's and splits coffee with them." So
Yeah.
that's where that came from. Yeah,
Yeah, that's funny. Eddie calls Kirk. For our listeners, Eddie Giuseppe, our friend, who's also a comedian,
Very
he calls
funny.
Kirk. He calls him Kirkland Kirk.
yeah, that made it my
Makes
act
me-
too. Yeah,
That makes me laugh every time.
Oh,
Oh,
it's so
he goes,
funny.
"Hi, how's old Kirkland Kirk doing?" So funny.
and I used to have a joke.
He
where,
also
"You can
came
call
up
me
with the
whatever you
name of his
want."
podcast, Autastic.
Yeah, for that joke, I do that part, and then I go the Kirkland Kirk part, and I go, "Listen, you can call me whatever you want." I pull out that Costco card, any bar in the Midwest. Yeah, those single moms know. You go home with me. You leave in the morning with a case of toilet paper. So stupid.
Man is
So
this
stupid.
man has power. Yeah.
That's so dumb. Anyway,
Yep.
but
good for
yeah, they let us watch movies for free out here usually. So yeah, that's what's going on. But I think Peter would like good old Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I think he would
He's got
too.
a hat.
That's
He's got a
idea.
whip. He's got a gun. I
Got a
forgot to
gun, he's
mention
got-
this. JJ, we bought him those Legos, and they've assembled them all, and he's got them set up kind of like Pete's got his set up. They're like on a shelf, and they're like in action poses, and they're not to be played with. He likes them in their position. It's really
Amazing.
cute, actually. Yeah, I try to
That's
like
awesome.
play with it. Like one of them's a garbage truck, and so I try to like, oh look, the garbage truck's coming, and then he like puts it back, pushes me away, like don't touch my stuff, and puts it back the way it was.
Ah, that's great. Well, he's got something he likes. That's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, Legos
I
are
mean,
fun.
10 years ago, he would have tried to eat them, right?
Not eat, but he would have, yeah, tried to flush him down the toilet, or
Yeah.
just screamed at you and throwing the whole thing at you. Yeah, but now he wants them
Yeah.
assembled in the right place, next to the Spider-Man car, which I have for him, which he was not as excited
Cool.
about as the garbage truck. But oh, that's another thing he might like, Peter. They make Spider-Man Legos, by the way. Anyway, something to think about.
The problem is that for some reason we said Legos are for kids, or he got it in his head that Legos are for kids.
Okay,
Like,
got it.
I'm talking like
30 years ago.
19 years ago when he was 20.
Okay.
When we still were thinking like maybe he could make we're trying to really focus on making him more adultish
Yeah.
as much as possible, and it just wasn't. But not that we gave up, but we just sort of realized he is who he is, and
Well, there's an
It's-
interesting thing about, we used to do a topic du jour. We don't do that anymore. But that is an interesting topic to talk about, is the balance between giving up, accepting who he is, and trying to push him. Because Temple Grandin, who we've had on this podcast, Jill Escher interviewed, talks about the loving push that, you got to give these kids. But I think the other flip side of that is there has to be an acceptance. I wrote a chapter in that
Yeah.
first book I wrote about your dreams for him are not his dreams, meaning, you've got I had dreams for my son to play college basketball and things like that. He doesn't care about that at all. He doesn't feel like he missed out. He doesn't feel like, those were my dreams for him. Those are not his dreams for himself. So it is an interesting thing, right? Where you're trying to like balance the fact that you want him to grow, but you also want him to be himself and not, he's not living his life for you kind of thing. It's interesting.
yeah,
Do you
it's
feel
very
like
interesting.
your parents, your parents are in their 70s? Is that right, or am I mixed up?
They're in their 70s. Yep.
Do you feel like they've kind of made peace with that thing? That's kind of a thing I'm, coming to the process
Yes.
of making peace with. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely have. I think I could see a change from when they were in their 40s,
Right.
early 50s to now. I've talked about this on the podcast before, but a memory that sticks out to me is we were on a ski trip. I must have been 10, he must have been 7, or no, I was 13. I'm 14, he must have been 11ish, and we were walking back to the chalet that we had rented, and Peter was off in his own world, stimming and walking ahead of us, and my mom just kind of gave up telling him to stop, to like hold up and wait for us.
Right.
And she cried, and she was like, I think this is it. This is where, as far as he's going to go.
Right.
And and she was crying, and she wasn't drunk or anything. It was midday, and now it's more of like, he is who he is, and it's taken with a grain of salt, and it's taken with like she finds a lot of humor in it. She loves him so much, as much as ever, but she thinks it's, if he says something or does something that's funny, she's like, oh, Pete, can't do that.
Well, I think it feels less, at least in my experience as a parent. Obviously, your parents are way down the road from where I'm at, but it feels almost, it's both intimately, deeply personal because it's your son, but also less personal in the sense that it's another human being, and they do, I'm sure you make a lot of decisions that don't, your parents don't love. So it's just like, this is a different person with or without autism. They're their own person. They're going to do their own thing. They've got their own ideas. So, yeah, you can be sad about it, or you can accept that, yeah, this is another person who isn't going to make the same choices you would make. And that doesn't make them bad choices. They're just
Mm-hmm.
different. So
Mm-hmm.
my sister was asking me about having, if I had genetic testing for JJ to determine if there's something else specific that they can, that he might have a different condition. And it brought up an interesting topic of like, why? What's the point? What would the purpose of that be? Even if it's determined he's got an additional
Mm-hmm.
condition, she's like, well, you could attack it now versus later. And I'm like, this is my family, so we can joke around. So I was like, why? Because he's going to miss too much work? Like, because what are we talking
Yeah.
about? What's the difference?
Yeah.
So, and of course you can joke different with family than you can with other people. But
Totally.
there's an acceptance where it's like,
People.
this is who he is. And go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. No. Finish your thought. Sorry.
I was just going to say, this is who he is. And, and I love him. And it's not, he really needs to get a job. And I'd love for that to happen. I think it'd be healthy for him. I think it'd be encouraging for him. I think he'd pass the time better. But it's not going to affect how I feel about him or my love for him or really his life that much, honestly. It's not like if he gets this job, he's going to buy a Ferrari and get married. So, yeah. What were you going to say?
No, I was just gonna say, like, families who have it in their family, we find it in a weird way the funniest because we've accepted it and we know we love them when we know it's not malicious. Like I love totally. I love watching the parents in Love on the Spectrum on Netflix. That's who I empathize with. Like, there's that one Australian guy, and he's going on dates, and he's talking about his ideal woman, and they're like at the kitchen table or at the island in the kitchen, and the dad's just like, I mean, you should just take any, you should, you got pretty high standards, buddy. He's like, I deserve high standards, and he's like, all right, and he's just laughing. He's like, oh, that's our guy. We can't change him. You just got to. And I thought it's so fun to see. I liked seeing it because I know exactly what they're doing,
Yeah.
And you can't have that feeling around anybody else. My one man show is about that, and I think that a lot of people who don't grow up with autism in their life, they wonder if my show is making fun of people with autism, which it's not. But yeah.
Which is a crazy question to say, even. Yeah.
Totally. Well, Kirk, should we do in the news?
I think we should. I think it's about that time, in the news time.
All right. This is from Fox News. Probably the first Fox News thing we've ever read. It says researchers
We've read a
use
couple. At least I have. Yeah.
Okay. Researchers use artificial intelligence to help diagnose autism, study says. Researchers are proposing using artificial intelligence technology to help diagnose autism spectrum disorder. In a recent article published by Scientific Reports, researchers from Brazil, France, and Germany reportedly used magnetic resonance imaging to train machine learning algorithm. The work, in which the quantitative diagnostic method is proposed, was based on brain imaging data for 500 people, with more than 240 that had been diagnosed with autism. We compared maps of people with and without ASD and found that diagnosis was possible using this methodology, he added. The machine learning spectrum was fed with the maps, and the system was able to determine which brain alterations were associated with autism with above 95% mean accuracy. With previous research proposes methods for diagnosis autism based on machine learning, the article notes it often uses single statistical parameter that is not brain network organization. I don't know what I just read. Yeah. Well, that's it's a pretty short article, Kirk. But it is.
Great.
I'm generally scared. I'm generally scared of autism, sorry, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence.
Afraid of having
my
it? Or
gosh.
which part are you afraid of? Oh, that's the best Freudian you've ever had.
I'm not afraid of having it, and I'm not afraid of it. I'd be honored
Pretty
to have
funny.
it.
I'd be honored to have it. There you go.
I would be honored to have it. I'd be in good company. I still may. I have not gotten any official test. I got a lot on my plate. But anyway, what I was going to say is I'm generally wary of artificial intelligence. But
yeah.
this seems, we say weary in England and Canada.
But weary means you're tired, right?
Oh, maybe I've been saying it wrong my whole life then. Never mind. Scratch that.
You're scared of autism and you're tired.
Googling this.
I love you,
wary
buddy.
and
What were you
weary.
going to say? Yeah.
Weary definition.
Weary means tired. Weary means, scared or unsettled or, hesitant. Anyway, go ahead. I'm listening, buddy.
Weary.
Yeah, weary.
Weary.
Oh, yeah, tiredness. Wary. Don't edit this either. Okay.
All right. So this
Okay.
is one that Graham's learning on.
See what it sounds like. This is Google.
Wary.
Ah, you're right. Jeez.
Wary.
Ah, no. I speak for a living.
I think you've been saying it wrong, buddy, respectfully. Listen, English
My
is
whole
my
life.
second language. I get it. It's hard. That's funny.
Man. Yeah, well. Every dog
Just-
has his day.
Just tell people you're French Canadian.
Man,
Oh,
that
that's funny.
stinks. Look at this.
Wary.
Yep. Man.
Well, I
I'm
think we can
dyslexic.
cover this
I
part
have
of
a
it
learning
later.
disability, so I mix up stuff all the time.
You're
making fun
weary
someone
of
with
being
disability,
wary.
and
I get it.
you're a bad guy.
I'm a bad
I have
guy.
Disability. You're punching down. You're a bad guy.
How am I a
Um,
bad guy? I tried to help you and say I think you're mispronouncing a word. I'm just trying to help you out, buddy.
Well,
don't
I'm
grow
weary of this conversation.
Oh, listen, I think the listeners are all weary.
I'm weary
of
of talking to you. I'm also wary of artificial intelligence.
Oh man!
But
Great
this
segue.
is
great segue.
a good. Thank you. This is a positive development.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think
Stick old Chat GPT on it.
yeah, at the very least, they're already talking about doing this for scanning for lung cancer scans, being able to detect anomalies, breast cancer scans as well. So this is the next step. You know what I mean? Any sort of simple tests that we can run through Google that would give people some peace of mind about what the next steps might be, I think is smart.
Hmm.
And would tell them there's no need to be wary.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I say.
Where are you at this week, buddy?
Oh, folks, this week I am going to be doing some colleges in the Midwest. But next, what I want to tell you about, folks, is in 2 weeks, September 7th, 8th, and 9th. I'm going to be at the Alameda Comedy Club in California. That is
Woohoo!
that is basically in Oakland, California, San Francisco area, Bay Area. That's September 7th, 8th, and 9th. Alameda Comedy Club. Alameda Comedy Club. Tickets can be found at grahamk.com. The following week, I'm going to be in New York City doing my one-man show, Pete and Me. Tickets are also available on my website, grahamk.com. Kirk, what's happening?
Love it. I am in Ottawa. I'm going to try to be recording I've hired a crew. We are going to be recording something. If it is a special, will be determined on you guys. If it's good enough to put out, if there's enough people that come out and we can get something out of that, I will be there the 29th through September 5th. And then the next weekend, 2 weekends, excuse me, I will be in Provo, Utah at Dry Bar. I think they film at Wise Guys. I think there's a theater there. And
No, it's a small theater they filmed there. It's
sorry.
fun. It'll
Okay,
be
I got mixed up. Sorry. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I grew weary of my own voice. It's a theater in Provo, Utah. If you're around, we're going to tape a little dry bar thing. Ideally, the 15th. If you can get tickets to that, and then the beginning of October, I'll be in Atlanta at the Atlanta Comedy Festival, Laughing Skull Comedy Festival in Atlanta, Georgia for 4 days, the 5th through the 9th, I believe. That's it. Guys, you'd do me a big favor. It would really help me out if you would add me on Facebook and YouTube, Kirk Smith Comedy. Sorry, what were you going to say, bud?
Nothing. Good for talking to you. Bye bye.
Have a great day, guys. You can do it.